Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of autism, where the true crime is as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases. But the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em.
And I'm Meg.
Keep your arms, legs, and other extremities in the vehicle at all times, and enjoy the show.
Good mornings.
Guten Morgen. He moved
So
my
new
camera.
bed equals, huh?
A new bed does equal sleep, let me tell you.
Good.
I was knocked the fuck out last night, let me tell you.
As you should be.
Mattress Firm had a sale.
Mm-hmm.
I got a brand new bed. It was great. Of course, not sponsored, but if you're in the Killeen area,
Right.
go to the Mattress Firm. See, I'm still waking up. I don't even remember what the fuck his name was. Oh my god, I'm awake.
Whatever their name was.
It's on my paperwork somewhere. I was in the middle of editing one of the episodes and my computer crapped out. And then
Oh no.
it turned back on and I was like, what the fuck? And Frank's just standing there by the power button. And I was like, you know you're not invisible right now. And he's like, son of a bitch. And I was like, you want to tell me what brought all of this chaosery around? And he's like, you need a laugh. And I was like, okay. All right. I get that.
But messing with the computer while I'm actively editing things is not a good way to make me laugh. It's just gonna piss me off.
No. Yeah. It's not. And I'm just sitting there going, good God. So good morning.
Good morning.
I'm still waking up.
It's okay.
Do you like my giant
I
mason
do.
jar?
I do, because we gotta switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
Switch it up occasionally.
I can't always have the stitch mug. The stitch mug is currently in the
Dishwasher?
in the dishwasher. Wash. I have a topic for today, but I think it's your turn because I did Roanoke last time. But
We can do both.
We could. I mean, it would be a very long episode if we did both.
Well, I mean, obviously not in one episode.
Oh, okay. All right, just making sure.
Yeah, no.
Checking. Good God, what day is today? Tuesday, the 12th.
Yes.
My anniversary is in a week.
I know.
So excited. I have no idea what I'm going to get him. If I can get him anything. Oh, my legs.
I mean, stick a bow on yourself and go, surprise, I'm the present. He would never turn that down.
No, he won't. There was only one time when he turned it down, and it's the last couple of nights. He's been look. All right, I love him to death. He is my favorite person aside from present company excluded, and Emily excluded. But I don't know what came out of his ass the other night, but it should be considered a war crime.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
The worst part is when you're in bed together and it happens.
Oh my God. I know. I was like, good Lord. My goodness.
Right. Good stretch?
A very good stretch.
Good.
So we are currently on our regularly scheduled bullshit.
More so than normal.
I almost hit the wrong toggle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's two toggles. One is regular and then one is mine. As you can hear, I sound like I'm prepubescent. No, it's just the trees. They're fucking.
Still.
Texas has a different seasonal change.
Oh, I know.
I hate it.
Florida's similar. So that's why I was like, yes, still. The trees are still fucking still.
Yes. until I got told by my neighbor mid-November.
Roughly. So coming up soon.
Yeah, which I'm kind of excited for. So I've made a good dent in the stocking for my nephew.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think I only have like maybe 30 more steps,
Okay.
and then I'm done. Hopefully.
Well, that's good.
So if I don't go, you go. So do you want to go or do you want me to go? Or I'll go second.
I can go. It's fine.
You sure? Because I don't mind going.
Yeah. No, I know. Um, just let me pull it up real quick.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to talk about
Uh-oh. You froze.
the Death House Landlady.
The Death House Landlady. Okay. All right. I think I do.
Yes.
I think I know who this person is. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For our longtime listeners, you would have heard us cover her pre-makeover.
Yo, my cousin's neighbor. Is it my cousin's neighbor?
Possibly.
And I'm using the word cousin loosely.
It was the only person we tag teamed on her.
Yes. Oh, she lived in. Yeah. No, they live in LA. Yeah. Yeah. Why is it always LA that has all these terrible people?
I don't know. So, for those that don't know, we are talking about Dorothea Gray.
Ugh. Ugh. This is a Pandemonium Witches podcast trigger warning. The following episode contains graphic violence and gruesome depictions. Listener discretion is advised.
Also known as Dorothea Puente.
She's a terrible, terrible human. Horrible, no good.
Thankfully, she's not alive anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Huzzah!
So she was born January 9th, 1929 in Redlands, California.
Uh-huh.
And she died March 27th, 2011 at 82 in Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California.
Chowchilla is one of those Chowchilla. Yeah. No, Chowchilla, that's closer than what most people say. It's one of those prisons I mean, prison changes you, period, right?
Right.
This prison is one of the ones that guts you from like the inside out.
I bet.
So it's excuse me.
Good. Sorry. Oh, if you're messing with Fluffy while you're hacking up a log.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No. Chowchilla is one of those ones where it's I wouldn't be surprised if a few of the storylines from Orange is the New Black is based off of there.
Right.
It's bad.
So her aliases is also were also Sharon Johansson, the Death House Landlady, and Tia Singoya Niyarda.
She does not look Mexican, let me tell you. That bitch is white.
I know, right? So she was convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances. There was 2 counts of that. And second-degree murder. She served life imprisonment without parole. And she had 9 victims that she admitted to, but was only convicted of 3.
Damn. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So they only found 9, but she was only tried for 3.
So too long didn't read. I just want to skip ahead to this part because this is the part that rocked my supposed quote unquote cousin.
Yeah.
They were found in the garden, and she used to give my
Yeah.
cousin vegetables.
Not ever getting food from anybody ever again.
No, she was just like, it was like,
I don't blame her. I would have been too.
Listen, I don't either, but like, free food is free food, bitch.
Right. But when it comes from
a garden full of dead people,
yeah, it kind of changes everything.
Sours the fruit a little bit,
Pretty much.
Yeah. Sorry, that was terrible of me. Bad, Catherine. So bad. I am so sorry, listeners. But we punish the murderers. We feel for the victims.
Yes. Yes, we do.
It's if you don't know that by now, shame on you. Go back to the first episode.
Right. So her crimes spanned from 1982 to 1988. So a good
couple of years. Six years.
6 years.
But
yeah,
she was caught.
Oh yeah, she was apprehended November 11th. Yesterday. 1988.
Okay. All right.
So if I hadn't been, dead to the world yesterday, we could have recorded this yesterday, and it would have been her anniversary for
happy anniversary
being apprehended.
I mean, it's fine because she's in jail now.
Well, I mean, she's dead now, so.
Well, yeah. So
it'll deal with it.
Just some technical difficulties. No big deal about that.
Sorry, guys.
Ugh.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I mean, if my brain were attached.
It's this week, I swear.
Mm-hmm. Mercury's going back in the microwave.
Well, they need to quit.
I like that you think that I can control the planets like that, but it doesn't work like that, my love.
I know. It'd be nice, but...
It'd be nice.
Could be nice.
Could be nice.
Anyways, so where was I?
We were talking about Dorthea, her multiple nicknames. And
okay. So the too long didn't read. She was an American serial killer in the 1980s. She ran a boarding house in Sacramento and murdered elderly and mentally disabled boarders before cashing their Social Security checks.
And mind you, she was unassuming. She was nice. She didn't talk all that often to her neighbors, but like she talked to them often.
Very friendly she was.
Oh yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, it's fine. So her total body count reached 9 murders, but was only convicted of 3, and the jury was hung on the other 6. Newspapers dubbed her as the Death House Landlady.
That's a terrible name.
I know, right? I mean, there's definitely worse names they could have called her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just being called the Death House Landlady is probably one of the nicer ones.
Probably, more than likely.
So, her parents were Trudy Mae Yates and Jesse James Gray. They were both alcoholics, and Jesse repeatedly threatened slip and slide in front of their children.
Wow! So he's like a whole tool. And not a useful one, like a wrench.
He then died of TB.
Forgot about that. Dying of tuberculosis.
Well, I mean, since you want out anyways.
Right! Let's give you a terrible disease that's going to make you
Since you want out anyways.
Damn.
Right. Trudy worked as a sex worker, lost custody of the kids in 1938, and then died in a motorcycle accident by the end of 1938. Jeez. So, like, Jesse dies.
Uh-huh.
Trudy loses custody of the kids, and then she dies. So, like, that was a very chaotic 2 years.
Right.
Dorothea and her siblings were sent to an orphanage where she was sexually abused.
Nobody.
She
Mm.
had her first marriage at the young age of 16, and this was
Wow.
1945,
Okay, that's
to
common.
a soldier named Fred McFall, who had just come back from the Pacific Theater of World War II. They
Wow.
had 2 daughters together between 1946 and 1948. So, relatively fast after they got married.
Right. Like super fast.
Dorothea then sent one to live with relatives in Sacramento, and she put the other up for adoption. She also had a miscarriage. So, no clue why she did that, other than,
Just to get the baby out of the house.
yeah, so like there was nothing I could find about her reasoning behind that, like abusive marriage. But then again, it was late 1940s. That shit was kept close to home.
Right. It was kind of, I mean, I don't want to say common, but from what I saw of my grandparents' marriage, they were lovely. They were perfect for each other. Sarcasm and sarcasm at. But I mean, um physical abuse was kind of common, like a
Right.
like a slap across the face or a smack on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That was common. But I mean, like, you didn't mince polite company, as one of my aunts told me. She goes, you don't talk about it in
Right.
polite company. It's not
Exactly.
discussed. And it's like, well, if it was discussed, it would have been probably better for those people.
Right. And Fred probably had all kinds of PTSD shit coming from the Pacific Theater.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. And so that, and he probably turned to an alcoholic, and like she saw her life going the same route as, her as her childhood, and she's like, I'm taking the kids out of this
I'm out.
situation.
I'm out, E3000. I'm just gonna dab out of here.
Right. So in spring of 1948, so after um so she had the daughters between 46 and 48, so probably after the birth of her second child. uh she was arrested for purchasing women's accessories using forged checks in Riverside, California.
Oh.
She pled guilty to 2 counts of forgery, served 4 months in jail and 3 years of probation. After 6 months after her release, she left Riverside. And then later that year, Fred left her. So we'll fast forward to a few years later. And I put in my notes, I said, starts humming Hands Clean. Anyways.
I was doing that.
In 1952, Dorthea supposedly / allegedly married merchant seaman Axel Bren Johansson in San Francisco. She created a whole new persona, calling herself Taya Sen, the name I pronounced earlier, a Muslim woman of Egyptian and Israeli descent.
Hold up. She claimed to be Muslim?
Uh-huh.
I am not
in the early 50s.
Listen, I am not in any ways trying to say this as PC as humanly possible, but that bitch is reflective.
Right?
Like, at that, no.
Yeah.
No.
They obviously had a turbulent marriage, and Dorthea took advantage of him constantly being gone because of his job by inviting men into their home and then gambling away his hard-earned money. Because being a merchant seaman is hard work.
It is.
And so, literally, that money was his sweat, tears, and blood, and she's just gambling it away.
Oh my God. My clients will have a field day with that. I have 3 clients that are merchant seamen. 2 of them I hooked up. The other one is a couple. And they told me they were, because one of them came in for a job. I was like, you can't just like come in. And she's like, we're in the middle of the ocean on this thing. And I was like, oh, oh, never mind.
Right.
I take
My
it.
bad.
I take it back.
Ellipses. So in 1960, she was arrested again, but this time for owning and operating a bookkeeping firm as a front for a brothel in Sacramento.
Whoa! Whoa! Hold on! She was a madam?
Apparently.
Damn!
She was found guilty and sentenced to 90 days in the Sacramento County Jail.
Oh, that's like soft shit.
Right. So in 1961, Axel had Dorothea briefly committed to DeWitt State Hospital after a binge of drinking, lying, criminal behavior, and slide attempts.
She tried?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
While there, doctors diagnosed her as a pathological liar with an unstable personality.
Sounds about right. Tracks, you know.
Right? She got it honestly from her parents.
She got it from her mama. She got it from her papa. Sorry.
Legit.
Yeah.
So 1966, they divorced.
Good.
But she continued to use his last name of Johansson for some time after their separation.
What the fuck, man? She couldn't come up with a new last name? She couldn't just be like, oh, I like this
Or
one.
go back to her, maiden name.
Maiden name, yeah.
She could have even gone back to, like, her first marriage last name.
Right. But no.
She had her choices.
She had multiple options. Like, A, B, C, or D.
Right. So she then assumed the identity of Sharon Johansson while hiding her horrendous behavior by pretending that she was a devout Christian woman.
How do you hold on? Wait. She went that's two different. That's like going from that's like going from barbecue to Japanese food. You can't stop. You can't have barbecue sauce in your stomach and then eat, Japanese food. It just doesn't drive. Right. What the logic? I know. Hold on. I know it's not logical. My brain is having a hard time.
As it does.
Every day. But why?
I don't know.
Okay.
She then established her reputation as a caregiver, providing young women with a sanctuary from poverty and abuse without charge.
No. There is something. I already am calling it. We already know she murders people.
Right.
I'm calling it right now. She's going to start with them. How about that?
I mean, she might have.
Oh. Okay.
We don't know. So 2 years later, in 1968, she married Roberto Jose Puente.
Oh, okay.
16 months later, they separated, with her citing domestic abuse.
What the I'm no longer going to ask what the fuck anymore. I give up.
Right.
I give up.
She attempted to serve him with divorce papers, but he had fled to Mexico, and the divorce was not finalized until 1973.
As you do.
Right. She continued to use Puente as her last name for more than 20 years. I guess she decided she liked the last name, so she was sticking with it.
I mean, I guess. Plus, it was the most recent one, so, like, right. She didn't have to go and change all of her last names again. That paperwork is tedious, man.
So after this divorce, she decided she was going to focus on running a boarding house, which was located near 15th and F Streets in Sacramento.
What happened to the... Okay. I'm not even going to ask. Know. Yeah, because there's
probably lost in gambling.
Probably, more than likely.
She established herself as a genuine resource to the community to aid alcoholics, homeless people, and the mentally ill by holding AA meetings and assisting individuals to sign up to receive Social Security benefits.
I don't trust it. But then again, it's
She
a murder
then
podcast, so you know
Right. She then changed her public image to one of a respectable older matron by putting on vintage clothing, large glasses, and by not dyeing her gray hair or her graying hair.
what I mean? There are so many things wrong. We're just
So
gonna
many.
keep going.
She also established herself as a respectable member of the local Hispanic community, funding charities, scholarships, and radio programs.
Hold on, bitch was a fucking Juanita. So how just because they have the last name doesn't mean okay. That's fine. I will get on that soapbox later. Not now.
She then met and married Pedro
Pascal.
Angel Montalvo,
Okay.
but he left her in the marriage a week later. So he was like, "Nope, I'm calling you crazy now. I'm out."
Yeah. Lying bitch. I fucking leaving. Shit.
So December 21st, 1978, she was convicted of illegally cashing 34 state and federal checks that belonged to her tenants.
I'm not I'm not laughing, but I'm just picturing like the Kronk, you know, how he's stealthily moving down the stairs. Just her going dun, dun, dun,
With
dun.
her own little music.
I'm sorry.
Against the wall as people pass.
Like, what's wrong with her, honey? Don't pay attention to the crazy person.
She was given 5 years probation and was ordered to pay $4,000 in restitution.
As she should.
She was caught again in 1982 and was convicted of administering a controlled substance to another person, grand theft, as well as forgery.
All lumped into one.
All lumped into one.
Well, she was a busy bitch.
She then served 5 years in a California state prison where a psychologist diagnosed her with schizophrenia.
Good. Because she probably did have schizophrenia.
But let's backtrack a little bit and discuss the house.
The house, yes.
So between 82 and 89,
Mm-hmm.
she would take in recovering alcoholics and the homeless, poisoning and strangling some of her supposed guests before burying them on her property and then cashing in all of their Social Security checks.
I just want to remind the listeners, if you haven't seen the photos of her house, it's very unassuming.
Right.
It looks...
But usually, most of the houses from the outside, if you didn't know what happened there, would look very unassuming.
But, I mean, her front yard was normal. Like, there wasn't any grass. There was a couple of, like, fruit bushes and a couple of flowers. Most of it was in the backyard. She had a pretty sizable backyard for Sacramento.
Right.
But the fruit trees in the area, there was a lot of acidity in the oil. So they produced a lot of, like, it wasn't sour, but it was more tart.
Mm-hmm.
And all of hers were very sweet and very good tasting. So the neighbors were kind of jealous because they were like, how did her... Anyways. I'm
pretty sure we knew how.
Yeah, we know now. But I mean, I feel sorry for them. But at the same time, like,
They were probably so disgusted.
Oh, God.
When it came out.
That friend, when they go to the store now, they don't buy the things that are out. They buy them so they're individually, like, sealed.
Already sealed in packages, yeah. I don't blame them. Because you don't know where people's hands have been.
Listen, I don't blame them at all. I understand. Like, now when they come home to me, like, if I'm visiting mom and dad and I happen to be there and she sees us cooking, she's fine with it. but like she doesn't go out to eat or anything like that. Like she
No,
has
I
to
don't blame
watch.
her.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
So that's basically where the murder starts.
Mm.
So in April of 82,
Okay.
Dorothea's friend and supposed business partner, Ruth Monroe, rented a space in the house that Dorothea owned.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after moving in, Ruth died from a supposed overdose of Tylenol with codeine. Yeah. And when Dorothea was questioned by the police, she said that Ruth had become depressed because of her husband's illness. And the police officially ruled the death as a suicide. But obviously, we know the truth.
Right. She's a horrible person and she needs to be punished.
Weeks later, 74-year-old Malcolm Mackenzie accused Dorothea of drugging him and stealing his pension.
Okay.
Dorothea was arrested, charged, and convicted of theft in August of that year and was sentenced to 5 years in jail.
Good.
While incarcerated, she began a pen pal relationship with 77-year-old Everson Gilmouth. And when she was released in 85, after only serving a measly 3 years
Fuck
of a
no.
5-year sentence,
No.
she then opened a joint bank account with Everson, which, of course, one naturally does.
Naturally.
No, don't ever do that, guys. Keep your bank accounts to yourself.
I mean, I'm not working right now, but we have a joint bank account, and that's the one that I use for bills and stuff like that. But, like, if anybody gets, like, they buy something for me on Facebook Marketplace, it goes into a different account.
Yeah. Oh, always keep your main account separate from other people. Having a joint account for, like, household expenses or something is one thing.
Right.
But having your money going to a account only you can access is smart, guys.
Right.
So November of 85, Dorthea moved back into her home and hired a handyman, Ismael Flores, to install wood paneling in her home because, of course, it was the 80s. Wood paneling was everywhere.
And did you see? It's making a comeback.
I know.
I'm not, except for Jenna Phipps, that chick on Instagram that we follow.
Yeah.
She's redoing that house. It would look fine in there because it's because of the architecture, but no.
Like everywhere? No. Like
an accent wall?
Accent wall, or like a little piece here and there, or it actually looking like planking and not paneling.
Right.
So instead of up and down, it runs side to side, so it looks like,
like shiplap.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. That looks fine. But wood paneling everywhere, guys, no. Leave it in the past. Some things just need to stay in the past.
The 70s called? They want their decorations back. Yes.
So after Ismael was done, Dorothea paid him $800. Yeah, shit. Sorry, my page moved on me.
You've gone too far.
Okay, there we go. I went to go scroll up and it just jumped like down and we'll just
no.
Okay, so Dorothea paid him $800 for a bonus, and then she did what every nice toxic person does. She gave him a car.
Oh!
Why did she have a car?
Is the car tied to a dead body?
Probably. Because it wasn't just any car. She gave him a red 80 Ford pickup truck.
Those were kind of common.
Which was the exact same model and year of Everson's car.
Oh, I called it.
You did. She told him that the truck belonged to her boyfriend who gave it to her.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Dorothea then hired Ishmael again to build a box that was 6 feet by 3 feet by 2 feet, which she stated that she would use to store books and other items.
Or dead bodies. That sounds like a fucking
Right.
coffin.
So the two of them then travel to a highway in Sutter County, going to drop off the box at a storage unit, and then she diverted him to stop at the riverbank, where they then proceeded to dump the box.
There's a dead body in it. There is a dead body in it.
January 1st, 1986, the box was recovered by a fisherman who called the police.
I knew it! See? I knew. I have ESPN.
When the police arrived and opened the box, they found the decomposed remains of an elderly man who would not be identified as Everson for another 3 years.
Oh, shit.
The entire time that he was deceased, Dorthea collected his pension and then forged letters to his family.
No, why?
Right. Collecting his pension's one thing. Forging letters to the family is entirely different.
It's entirely different.
Dorthea continued to give homes to not only recovering persons, but also the elderly and disabled tenants in her boarding house. While they were living there, she read their mail and took any money and Social Security checks they received. She paid each of them monthly stipends, but kept the remainder for what she claimed were expenses for the boarding house.
The fuck?
Right. Her boarding house was visited by several parole agents as a result of previous orders for her to stay away from elderly people and not to handle government checks.
Oh, hell!
But despite these frequent visits, she never was charged with anything.
Wait. After all of this, after all of the evidence, nothing?
Nothing.
That ding-a-ling.
So neighbors began to grow suspicious when she stated that she had adopted a homeless alcoholic man nicknamed Chief to serve as her handyman. She had Chief dig in the basement and remove soil and garbage from the property. Chief then put in a new concrete slab in the basement before he disappeared.
Right.
Because he disappeared in the fucking concrete.
Of course he disappeared in the fucking concrete.
That's where they always go.
Jesus Christ.
In November of 1988, another tenant in Dorothea's house, Alvaro Montoya, disappeared. Montoya was developmentally disabled and a schizophrenic and was in several support groups.
Okay.
After he failed to show up to his mandatory meetings, his social worker reported him as missing.
Good.
At the same time, an outreach counselor named Judy, who knew him and had placed him in Dorothea's house, noticed that her charge had been missing.
Judy! I love the name Judy.
Montoya had struggled with his mental health and had been homeless for years, and Judy didn't buy Dorothea's explanation that he had left for a holiday in Mexico with his brother, especially as Judy knew he did not speak to his family. So Judy questioned another of Dorothea's tenants, John Sharp, who told her something is wrong. She's been digging a lot of holes.
Jesus Christ.
Judy then alerted the police, who went to the house, where they were met with the same answer, that Montoya was on holiday. But John then slipped the police a message. She's making me lie for her.
But how he slipped the message was super cool, because this I remember because it was on the if you guys haven't seen it. No. Worst Roommates.
Oh.
The thing your sister had me watch. Netflix? I think it's on Netflix. World's Worst Roommates. and it was like they're drawn. It's like animated, and he
Mm-hmm.
slipped the cops a piece of paper, shaking his hand, and he handed it to him in his hand, and I was like, that's so fucking slick. Like,
Right.
if she would have seen it, she would have killed him.
Right. And so he was protecting himself, but also getting the truth out.
Right. Man.
So the police looked around the house and didn't see anything of any merit. They never checked the basement at this time. They then asked Dorothea to look in her garden and dig a little bit to prove that they had been doing all that they could. Dorothea even went so far as giving them gardening gloves and shovels and allowing them free reign of her backyard.
Oh no.
Makes me wonder at that point if she was just tired.
She may have been tired because she had been doing this for a while.
Several years now.
Right. And she had been playing scams for a long time. So, like, okay, we're going to take a pause, like a quick break. When I was younger, I lied to my parents all the time. And then one time I got caught, right? And that was a time I will never forget because my ass was like black and blue, right? And it wasn't from them. It wasn't from them. It was from my grandparents because they were very much like, you're not going to do this type of thing. And after that, it kind of scared the shit out of me, literally, because I never lied again.
Right.
Because brujeria is one of those things where it lasts a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandma, made it so I couldn't lie. And when I do, it's very bad for me.
Right.
And maybe she just needed to meet like a bruja, maybe somebody who practiced santeria or like voodoo, because I mean, like, lying takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. Because
and keeping up with the lies that you've told and who you've told it to, and just keeping your story straight and everything. It's a lot of effort, guys.
It's a lot of effort, and I mean, like, it's one of those.
It gets tiring.
It gets
Anyways.
so tiring. Yeah, sorry.
So the police arrived at Dorothea's boarding house and began to search the property. They discovered recently disturbed soil and were eventually able to uncover a total of 7 bodies in the yard. 7.
Nope. Not touching that with the temper pole. Yep.
And finally, they found the body of 78-year-old Leona Carpenter, and the police realized that what they thought was beef jerky that she had given them was actually human flesh.
Gross! No!
Right? So Dorothea was charged with 9 counts of murder for the 7 bodies found at her house, in addition to Everson and Montoya. What are you doing? Sorry. My cat is climbing next to me, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Back to death. She was convicted of only 3 as the jury could not agree on the other 6.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope. So she was sentenced to 2 life sentences, which she served at Central California Women's Facility in Madera County, California, until her death in 2001 at the age of 82. Until her death, she continued to insist that she was innocent and that the tenants had all died of natural causes.
Wow, hold on.
My whole thing is, if they died of natural causes, why'd you bury them in the backyard?
Right. Why didn't you let the cops know? I mean, my good bitch, as Emily says, my good bitch. Why bury them in the backyard if it was natural causes? Why not just notify the police, notify, somebody?
Somebody, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So after drugging her victims, she buried them in the backyard of her 2-story Victorian house and then cashed their Social Security checks, which had continued coming in as authorities believed the people were still alive.
What is Fluffy getting into?
So those are boxes that have clothes in them that I have yet to put away.
Sort, yeah.
And so she just decided she was just going to walk over there and just climb up into it. Like, what the hell are you doing? Anyways, back to Dorothea. little side thing. Her homicidal spree came to a halt in November of '88, obviously, when I already talked about that. About Montoya. Apparently, this is what happened. I worked on this over like 3 weeks, and I just kind of repeated myself apparently without it. So, according to investigators, most of her victims had been drugged until they overdosed. She then wrapped them in bed sheets in plastic lining. Guys, that shit doesn't break down. If you're going to bury a body, don't put it in plastic.
Advice. This is not advice. Okay. This is just don't.
This is just observations.
Observations. Plastic is PVEA.
It takes like over 100 years for it to even break down.
Yeah. Even cloth. Yeah.
Right. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So she wrapped them in, the bed sheets in the plastic before dragging them to open pits in the backyard for burial, which, this lady wasn't a big lady, Belle Gunn, like we discussed previously. This was, an older lady. So the fact she was able to drag these people into the backyard.
Right. She's got to have mad upper body strength.
Something.
That lady on TikTok and Instagram, B Sparksful,
Yeah.
Don't pull like this. Pull like this.
Pull from your knees, not your back.
Right.
But her drug of choice was Dalmane, which was a drug used for insomnia and was found in all 7 of the exhumed bodies.
Oh my God.
So buried in her backyard was Leona Carpenter, 81, Dorothy Miller, 65, Alvaro Montoya, 52, Benjamin Fink, 55, James Gallup, 64, Vera Faye Martin, 65, and Betty Palmer, 80. Dorthea was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And of course...
Good.
And of course, when they found the first body, instead of putting her in handcuffs, and securing her, she made a run for it. Following the issuance of a murder warrant and search that swept across California, Nevada, and Mexico,
yep,
Dorthea was finally arrested in Los Angeles. The arrest came after a tip by a man who said he had met her in a bar where she was overly interested in his disability checks, according to the tip. While in prison, she communicated with Shane Bugbee, who collected dozens of family recipes into the book Cooking with a Serial Killer.
What?
The book includes Shane's phone interviews with her, who addressed her conviction and the victims.
Mm-hmm.
In the documentary The World's Worst Roommate on Netflix, the police were previously questioned about Dorthea, to which they responded with, "This could be my grandma. She was a little old lady next door. You cannot judge a book by its cover, as she had one heck of a cover."
She really did. I mean, none of the neighbors, from what I found out, none of the neighbors thought that she was anything more than a little old lady that was helping out the community.
Right. Well, always be suspicious, guys.
Right. Good God.
That's repeating. So it took them 30 minutes of digging before they found the first body.
So she didn't dig far enough. Okay.
Right.
Right.
I mean, but also, the detective that did the digging might have been in better shape than she was. So,
I mean, probably more than likely because she was
so just hours after they discovered the first body, she managed to slip away from the cops. Like, obviously somebody wasn't keeping very good eye on her.
Please tell me it was something stupid. Please tell me it was something stupid. Like how she got away? Please tell me.
I don't know. That I don't know.
Okay, I can look up.
But the fact, like, they obviously weren't paying close enough attention to let her slip away.
Right.
And so an all points bulletin was issued for her. Which is also called an APB.
Mm-hmm. And a bolo.
Yes.
To look at.
Yes. On November 16th of 88, Charles Wilgus, along with Gene Silver of CBS, alerted police to Dorothea's whereabouts at a motel in Los Angeles. Charles met Dorthea, who was using the alias of Donna Johansson, the day before at a nearby bar. He later recalled seeing her on a CBS morning newscast and reached out to Gene Silver, who met with him at his apartment. The two then contacted local law enforcement, and Dorthea was arrested the same day. On November 17th, she was flown from the Hollywood Burbank Airport to Sacramento, escorted by police, and was booked into the county jail. She was then formally charged with the murder of Montoya. On March 10th of 89, because a couple months later,
right,
criminal charges against Flores were dismissed due to the statute of limitations expiring 3 years after Everson's body was discovered.
I found out how Dorothea skipped.
How?
So they were watching the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
She said, I need to go down the street because she wasn't, at this point, they didn't think that she'd actually done anything, so they had rookies.
Of course.
So she's just like, I just need to run down to the market. They have my groceries ready. And she just slipped out. And she's like, I'll be right back. She took her purse with her.
Which had everything she needed to slip.
Yeah. So, the more you know, shooting star.
Ta-da! Flores was later granted immunity for his testimony against her.
Good.
On March 31st of 89, an amended complaint was filed charging Dorthea with 9 counts of murder, with special circumstance qualifying it as a death penalty case.
Ooh!
According to investigators, most of her victims had been drugged until they overdosed. She then wrapped them in bedsheets and plastic lining before dragging them. On May 24th, 1990, so a year later, the prosecutor rested his case for the preliminary hearing to determine whether the case could proceed to trial, having called 71 witnesses and introducing 108 exhibits.
Wow.
Right.
That's a lot.
Right.
I mean, good for them, though. Good for them.
Oh, yeah. They were covering everything.
100%.
June 19th, 1990, a judge ruled that there was ample circumstantial evidence to send Dorthea to trial, and on July 31st, 1990, she pleaded not guilty. But we all know she did it.
We all know she done did it.
After numerous delays, on October 19th of 92, a judge ruled that Dorthea would face all 9 murder counts and that all cases would be heard in the Monterey County.
Yep.
On December 21st of 92, 12 jurors consisting of 8 men and 4 women were selected for the trial. The following month, 6 alternate jurors, 5 women and 1 man, were selected to back up the 12 regular jurors, which is normal.
Yeah.
Because things happen. You always have to have backups.
Right. Just in case.
Right. Her trial began February 9th of 93. By the conclusion of the trial, 156 witnesses testified. More than 3,100 exhibits had been submitted, and over 22,000 pages of transcript were recorded.
Damn.
I know. After deliberating for 11 days on August 2nd, 1993, the jury told Judge Michael J. Verga that they were deadlocked on all 9 counts of murder and asked for further instruction.
How? She done did it. How did you get... Okay, all right. I'm not going to get angry. They were doing their civic duty.
Right. The next day, the judge ordered the jury to resume their efforts to break the deadlock. On August 26th of 93, Dorothea was convicted on 3 counts of murder: Benjamin Fink, Leona Carpenter, and Dorothy Miller.
Good.
The jury, after deliberating for 35 days, remained deadlocked on 6 cases: Ruth Monroe, Everson Gilmouth, Betty Mae Palmer, James Gallup, Vera Faye Martin, and Alvaro Montoya.
That doesn't do them any justice.
Right. During the penalty phase of the trial, jurors found themselves deadlocked once again.
Okay.
Because, like, even if one juror doesn't agree, it's deadlocked.
It's deadlocked. Yeah, I know.
So it could have just been like one person that wasn't in agreement with the rest of them, and so it makes them stick around.
But still, that's...
I know. October 13th of 93, Dorthea was spared the death penalty. On December 10th of 93, she was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. She was incarcerated at Central California Women's Facility, also known as CCWF, in Chowchilla, California. Did I pronounce it right that time?
Chowchilla. It's close. It's
Chowchilla.
close. It's definitely better than Josh trying to pronounce it, so it's fine.
On August 28th, 1997, an appellate court in San Jose affirmed her murder convictions, but ordered an examination of juror misconduct allegations.
Yep.
After a 3-day hearing on September 25th of 98, Judge William D. Curtis rejected each allegation of jury misconduct in her trial.
They were trying to prove that she had tampered with the jury, and that's why they were deadlocked.
Ah.
And it's like, no, people are just fucking stupid.
Yeah. And some people just want to think the best for humanity, and that doesn't always happen.
Listen, I wanted the best for humanity before we started doing this podcast, and the more I got, the more...
And then each case, you're just like, nope, I'm done.
It just kept getting worse and worse. I mean, okay, I'm fine.
Dorthea also became known as the grandma serial killer because she looked like the little grandma.
She did. Everybody thought she was not imposing, and she's
very much imposing.
Very much imposing.
So she then died March 27th, 2011 from natural causes at the age of 82. She's been featured on numerous true crime television shows, including Crime Stories, Deadly Women, A Stranger in My Home, World's Most Evil Killers, and Worst Roommate Ever. In 1998, she began corresponding with Shane Bugbee. The cookbook has almost 50 recipes, various pieces of prison art that she sent him, and a lengthy interview. Jodi Picoult mentions her crimes and cookbook in her novel House Rules. The boarding house was included in the 2013 home tour held by the Sacramento Old City Association. It was then the subject of the 2015 documentary short, The House is Innocent, and was again opened to tours for one day in conjunction with a local film festival's showing of the film.
You know that place has got to be fucking haunted.
Oh, 100%. Especially the backyard. Oh, yeah.
Emily, we are not going there. You're probably going to listen to this episode like 3 months later. We're not going there.
It is still we're not going there.
Yes. You can go. You can go with Joshua. He's very much the you know, the white of our relationship.
Right.
Which is sad that I have to put it that way.
Yeah, but he is. He's very unsuspecting. Meanwhile, you're like, I see everything.
I see it. I don't want to go.
It's like I accidentally mixed energy drink making my coffee, and now I can see colors. I can see everything.
Yep. Sounds about right. Yep.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? So I've watched the Snapped. Like, I looked for it. I watched that episode. When we did it last season. Guys, if you try to look for the season, it's gone.
Of course it is.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno. So when it comes to that, when I was originally doing research for it, Josh is like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No,
not at all."
He's just like
100% not okay.
Right. He's like, "Why?" And I read him some of the passages, and he's like, "That is disturbing." And I was like, "Yeah, I know.
Hence why I'm not okay.
This is why I'm not okay." And he's just like, "But I mean, like, how did she get away with it?" And it's because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Never.
Nobody ever expects the woman who looks like your grandma.
Right.
I mean, my grandma didn't look like that. But
I mean, mine.
I mean,
the glasses and the hairstyle.
Yes.
Dad's mom definitely looked like that.
Yeah.
But she lived in like small town.
Right.
Which, speaking of which, I meant to get Sylvia to get a audio of Aunt Marianne talking about the murder.
Oh.
And I was thinking, heck, we could do like a little short thing on it.
We could, yeah. I mean, if she got it, but I mean, if she didn't, then,
I don't know. I mean, even if she didn't, like, we could still.
We're still gonna do an episode on that. And no, guys,
yeah.
it's not a new murder. It's an old murder. But
yeah,
I mean, as far as like people bringing in, unfortunately, this isn't the first time that people have done this, where they've brought in homeless people and tried to quote unquote take care of them, and they ended up meeting their demise instead. And it's I don't talk about it at all that often. It's one of those things that Josh and I are absolutely terrified about, because when we were both homeless, granted it wasn't at the same time, but I slept in my car. I bought I bought a beater off of Craigslist for like $200, but I mean, it was cheap. And it ran, the heater worked, and that's what was important. But I mean, he didn't have a car to sleep in. And there was a lot of times where we would trust the wrong people. And there have been definitely a number of times, at least for me, where my safety was in jeopardy. And it was one of those things where you don't talk about it, but it is discussed in that community. Like, don't go here. These people are not to be trusted. Like, they're not safe. And there's definitely, like, not a code of ethics, but it's definitely like a code amongst, the homeless people. But
well, most of the homeless
people. I'm not lumping us all together, but I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, this person does give food for odd jobs, whereas this person, you got to watch out, got to watch your back, and it was a thing, and
Right.
there was definitely times where I went, because they were like, "Oh, we need somebody to tutor our kids," and I was like, "Absolutely, like I'm 100% there." And I would leave, and I would immediately tell my friends, like, "Do not go here. Vibes bad, super just not good energy."
Right.
And
Not friendly, not friendly.
right, a couple of my friends never made it back,
Yeah.
and it kind of solidified it for me to get sober, to get help, to get housing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, I mean, depending on your state, there's a lot of different resources. If you are in that predicament, just reach out. I have friends all over the globe. um
We can definitely get you resources.
oh yeah, absolutely. Aside from the hiccup earlier, today was a terrible episode and I hated it, but I love the information.
Yes.
Hated her.
Also, if since we're talking about, kind of keeping ourselves safe, um, bandanas and uh, giant locks.
Yep.
Um, you can also get the metal giant carabiners
Yes.
instead of getting brass
Brass
knuckles
knuckles.
because they're illegal.
I have the
Uh,
same carabiner that I've had for 20 years, and it's
you
finally
can get them
broken
big enough that you can have it
in your hand.
on your hand.
Hmm.
So not only could you use it tied to the bandana to swing around, but you could also slip it into your hand and use it as knuckles.
Josh actually asked me the other day why my key ring is so big, and I used to
Yep.
stick it. You've seen my scarves and stuff. I have a fuck
Yeah.
ton of scarves. I used to have a scarf tied around my head cover,
Yeah.
so it was just covering that. All I would have to do is pull one side, and it came off.
Right.
And I would wrap that around my keys and smack people in the head if they came close enough. And it's
Right.
just like you got to do what you can to protect yourselves.
Exactly. Uh, cotton bandanas, cotton scarves don't get anything that's slippery
Nope.
because it will aid them and not you.
That girl from TikTok, put a sock on the bat.
Yep.
Sock on the bat.
Carry hammers because
No, do not carry hammers.
right. This
Carry
is
a
all hypothetical.
toolbox. Carry a
Yes.
toolbox. Because if
Uh,
you carry hammers,
carry wrenches.
yes,
Carry
your toolbox.
random tools.
Yes.
But make it so it looks like it's part of a set that you just always have on you. Um, you
There's
can all like most things that we carry can be used as self-defense, guys. Hairspray, like the little cans of hairspray. Um,
if you shot that in somebody's eyes, I've done
oh
that.
yeah.
I've done that. I used to
So
carry.
like normal things like we would carry in our purses anyways as, going out
Right.
stuff, you can use it as defense. Don't
And
think that you can't.
I mean, like, when it.
I saw that.
The
It was
fuck?
really weird.
What the fuck? That was a spider.
Was it? I thought it was like a piece of lint or something.
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
I mean, as far as there was one time this guy was following me back to my car, and this was when I was staying at the 24-hour fitness. Um, and I can tell you I was terrified because I was like, he's following me back to my car. I'm going to die. Like, this is how I end.
Yeah.
And I remember I turned around and I sprayed him and he just started screaming and I sprayed him with hairspray. And
Right.
he's just like, I just wanted to offer you food. And I turned around and it was the security guard that used to let me in. And I was like, oh, I am so sorry.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
He's like, no, it's fine. I totally get it. I'm gonna go wipe everything off. And I was like, I'm so sorry. So like after that, like that's when he was like, just get a carabiner. Like granted it's close
Right.
contact. And that's what I stuck my keys on. And I put it on those wire it's not wire, it's like a metal circle that you
Right.
get from Dollar
The
Tree.
clip.
The clip. So what I did is I just put a bunch of yarn on it, and what I did on the inside is I put those little, oh God, what was it? I can't even, when you know something and then you forget it?
All the time.
But anyways, so there's a lot of stuff you can do to protect yourself. Dorothea was a terrible person. She went after people who needed it, and needed the help. Um, if you're in that situation, you just need to get out. There are tons of numbers that you can call, including domestic violence numbers and
Yes.
ways to get help. You can also text, I think it's 811. I think you text 811
I
or
think so.
888 or something like that. On an earlier episode, we did that. But this is our last episode for December.
Yes.
As you know, we take time off once a year, and our time is December. So the whole month, you're only going to get, I think we might do another episode.
Right.
Just
I know we're doing Yule, but
yeah, just a sprinkle in there. But we're not going to tell you when we're dropping it. So just keep that button alive. But stay feral.
Bite the hand, guys, and stay safe.
Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, goodbye. Next time on the Pandemonium Witches. It's not a good story, but it's something that was graced the media. It was very popular.
Okay.
And it was something that if you were anybody on TikTok, you knew about this. Allie found out that she was pregnant after she was like, yay, I'm having a baby. He was able to get her a visa to live with him in the U.S., where they began his family, and he began his career online.
He just happened to finally hear something he didn't like.
Right. So jurors also heard that Allie copied the electronic key card to enter the luxury apartment without permission. He began audio recording just before executing what Judge Frazier called willful, deliberate, premeditated, cold-blooded murder.